All right. It's another episode. Welcome to Driving the Stars. I think I still need a theme song. I need to come up with a theme song. Can somebody help me come up with a theme song? Because I need something to come out to. Uh, like a football game or baseball game coming up to bat. I need one of those little quick 5 second hitters. Um, so today, what a day to be a Wildcat, I tell you. Uh, UT week and big win last night. I'm gonna just talk a little bit about the game, the basketball game last night, like a quick second. Um, Obviously Maxi is a stud. That's not debatable. Um, but for me, I look at the not obvious things. Um, we won that game last night because of defense. Um, Hagan is a guy that I would not want to go against. Um, that guy is a bulldog. Um, the big man played better than what I think people are giving him credit for. Now, unless you're looking for Anthony Davis or Boogie or one of those guys to come through the door with their stats, I don't think that's going to happen this year. But those guys played quality last night, in my opinion. They did not play perfect, but they played quality because I know Izzo is known for that football mentality with his big men, and we battled. Rebounding was huge for us. I can't remember the stat, but I think if we lost the rebound battle, it wasn't by much. Um, we did so much better without turning the ball over this year. Uh, I think that was the difference in the game because first game of the season, one thing that travels is defense, and one thing that doesn't travel well is shooting. Um, I was a shooter, and different arenas, different backdrops can affect your shot. So not playing in a big arena, not a college smaller size arena might have had an effect. I'm not sure what the backdrop is at MSG, but I just know I played a game in a couple bad backdrops, and my 3 point shot was not. It took me a while to adjust. So um, those guys, neither team shot well, but our rebounding, our defense, and taking care of the ball was huge. And free throw shooting, um, we shot the free throws well, which we did a good job of getting ourselves in the bonus. Which I'm talking a little bit more, and I want to talk about this, which I think is ridiculous. That's why I personally like watching the girls' game. I forgot about the girls' game. The girls played pretty well. They had a game just like the boys did, poor shooting. Howard had a real slow start. I think at one time she was 0 for 5 or 1 for something like that. She was not playing well shooting wise, but our defense um, was a difference in that game. But what I'm sick and tired of, and the women are usually ahead of the game except for this 3 point line, is going to quarters. And the only reason you go to quarters is because it resets the team fouls. And that game last night was ridiculous with them calling so many fouls and the teams getting in the bonus so early. That slows the pace of the game, affects the flow of the game. The men need to do something about that. I don't know if there's a time in the clock where they can reset the team fouls. I mean, obviously, I guess it'd be obvious at 10 minutes to reset it, but something needs to be done with that because that just affects the the quality of viewing of a college basketball game. That's why I mean that's more than that, but that's why I like pro game much better than I like college, and they only go 4 personal fouls. So that's it. I'm done. That's it with basketball. It's UT week, and we're gonna touch on some of this football stuff. And I'm gonna touch on Stoops. I think I wrote some stuff down because I'm sick of these people from the outside looking in. It's kind of like how a lot of the people I follow on Twitter um, is is upset about the national media coming in with their comments about Kentucky politics and the governor Stoops. Um, if you don't watch the game and you just go strictly off the numbers, which is totally not the way to go. But let's say you do, you are missing a lot. You are missing a lot about his program. It's not the most aesthetic looking football you can watch. But that's not what football is all about. Football is all about wins and losses. I'm gonna tell you, I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I got this because this is huge. Stoops got here in 2013, right? So his first real recruiting class was 2014. So you go 2014, 15, 16. So let's say 2016, 17 season, the team went 7-6. Right? No, that's 2017. Yeah. Hold on, let me get this right. 19, 20, 18, 19, 17, 18. The 2017 season, they went 17-6. The 2018 season, last year they went 10-3. This year they're 4-4. The reason why it's only quoted those records is that's his first recruiting class. I mean, his first teams were only his players. You get what I'm saying? Those are the 3 seasons where it is totally his players that he recruited, not holdovers from Joker's tenure. These are straight his players. 7-6, 10-3, 10-4. That's a total record of 21-13. That's impressive. You cannot tell me that's not impressive. Think about that. Though these are the 3 years that are solely his recruiting classes. He's 21-13 at Kentucky. That's damn good. Reason why that's big, if you think about it, I'm gonna always defend Coach Curry because he's personally did a lot for a lot of people. He's probably the best coach I've ever had, coach wise. Cared for his players, uh, made us men, had a big influence on everybody. I don't think there's too many players on that team that will say anything negative about Coach Curry. Now, the only thing Coach didn't do, in my opinion, was get that offense right. And the reason why I say that, my last year was 96. We went 4-7. The hire Hal Mummy went Coach Curry guys. Now remember, this is why this is huge. Coach Curry guys, he goes, I think he went 7 and he went 8. I think he went 8 the first year. Can't remember. When he started losing Coach Curry guys is when the program started going the other way. So all these people who say sometimes coming as a coach with other players, with other coaches' players, is tough if they are not quality players. All right. So Stoops came in. The cover wasn't bad, but it wasn't strong. But when he came and got some years to build the program, he's 21-13 with his guys. And if it wasn't for, I'm going to always bring this back, if it wasn't for the quarterback issue this year, he'll be probably, I'm going to say they lose 2 games. So they'll be 23-11. But people want Stoops gone. A lot of them, not a lot. Some faithful want Stoops gone because the game is not pretty. Who cares about the looks of the game? We care about the end result of the game, period. I don't care if it's 0-3. We're winning. What else do you want from him? The recruiting classes are incredible. This next recruiting class has potential being really dangerous. If the kids come, develop, and become the players that the outlook shows that they can become, that defensive line might be better in a couple of years than the defensive line we have this year, which is a very good defensive line. But the guys I've seen in the little highlights, which is hard, it's hard to go off highlights because we all have good highlights. Even I had great highlights. If you're a great player, a good player, I hope you can piece together a few minutes of your best plays. So it's kind of hard for me to judge players off of highlights. I would rather watch a whole film and watch what happens on bad plays, how they hustle, especially on defense, how they hustle to the ball, all those other little intangibles that you cannot see on highlights. But the guy is bringing in top-notch talent. And I'll talk about the whole 2-star, 3-star thing, which I hate also, because if you have a star by your name, that means you're a really good athlete. There's really not that much difference between a 2-star and a 4-star. There's a big drop-off after 5. If you're a 5-star athlete, you are pretty much that dude. When you go to 4, because obviously, it's like, what's the difference between when you're in school, the difference between a 90 and an 89? In my school, don't know, everybody else have different grade systems. A 9 is an A minus, the 89 is a B plus. But is that really a big difference? No. If you're a low 4-star player compared to a high 3-star player, what's the difference? It's subjective. You were pretty much the same caliber athlete. So I don't. If you're not a 5-star and not a high 4-star, whatever. But I wanted to throw out some numbers because I'm sick of these pundits always coming back with Stoops and his offense. Now, I'm never going to say that the offense is great, but people normally only look at total offense. That's the easiest thing to look at, and it encompasses a whole lot of things. But the thing about football is you don't know the circumstances unless you watch the game. So, for example, if you have a great defense, your offense might not have a lot of yards per game because maybe your defense is giving you short fields. Maybe your defense, maybe your average, and I couldn't find that because obviously that's not a big stat for the majority of people, but field position is huge for me. I say it all the time. Play the field position battle. Where you start your possession is I don't know, I'm trying to think of, it's top 5, probably top 3 of things I look at. Time of possession is another one. Turnover margin is another one. And where you start dictates how many yards you're going to have. Like I said, these numbers from when I was playing, I don't have the exact numbers. I just remember that I had it written down a long time ago, but I don't have it anymore. You start if the offense starts inside the 20, their chance of scoring is like 20%. If they start on their 40, their minus 40, it goes to like close to 60%. It's like 50 something, I remember. It's like 60% chance of them scoring. When they go on the positive 40, I think it's like it goes the opposite way. It's like 80% chance of them scoring. So if your defense gives you the ball on a minus 30, 35, minus 40, your chance of scoring goes up tremendously. Because, as I say always, on special teams, get a first down. Like punt return, get a first down. That's one less first down the offense has to make. And it's huge. Because the more snaps you have to take against an average offense, they are going to mess up. Offsides, holding, loss of yard, there's TFL on defense, blah blah blah. Something bad is going to happen to an offense. You make them keep snapping. So one less first down means you're probably taking out 3 snaps for that offense, and it makes a difference for these young kids. It makes a big difference. So 3 less snaps, there's 3 less opportunities for them to make a mistake. So always get an extra first down. So just imagine you start on the 35. It doesn't seem like a big deal. If you start on the 25, start on the 35, but it is a big deal. It allows the offensive coordinator to call the game a little different. So the stats. If you look at the total offense, our total offense is horrible. There's no way I can sugarcoat it. We in the hundreds, the total offense, at least the last 3 years. And I do the last 3 years for the reason I said earlier, because those are all the Stoops players, right? So, and I'm going to go time of possession first. And in the 2016-17 season, we were 65th. In the 2017-18 season, we was 59th. And last year, we was 43rd in time of possession. Time of possession is so important for a defensive team or a defensive coach team, because what that means is the defense is on the field less time. It gives them time to rest, milking out that clock. It helps you with field position battle usually, because that means you're marching a little bit. That means you're at least getting 1 or 2 first downs. All you typically need, especially with our punter we've had the last 2 years, is 1 first down. If we start on the 25, get 1 first down, we get to the 36-ish, our 36, the negative 36, our punter is going to probably put them inside their 20 regularly. And like I said earlier, if they start inside the 20, the chance of scoring is 20%. That gives us a great chance of winning. And while offense will never be in the top 50 offensively, probably with Stoops, unless he gets in his older brother stage where he understands that the only way he can get to beat Bama, the Georgias, the Florida consistently is to get this offense going, like Oklahoma did when they finally started bringing in top-notch offensive coordinators to beef that offense scoring up. We're going to win with possession of the ball, and win the field position battle. 1 first down, get them inside the 20. If our defense does what they're supposed to do, get 3 and out, we get the ball probably on our negative 40, which means we have about a 60% chance of scoring. But it's not that many yards. We may only get 30, 40 yards to get a field goal. Get what I'm saying? So we keep doing that, playing field position, getting the first down, get a 2, punt, inside the 10, they punt back, we get a short field, 40-yard touchdown drive, 30-yard drive, get a field goal. That's why we really don't have that much yards on offense, because we run the ball and we're possessing the ball. The next stat that's huge is red zone success. In 2016-17 was 49th. 2017-18 was 10th. 10th in the nation. Red zone efficiency. It's huge. 2018-19 was 86. That wasn't that good. Last year, we kind of dropped off at the end of the year. That was the middle of the year, really. We got better towards the end. In the last stat, the most important one is points. Yes, we've been 100 in total offense, but in 2016-17, we was 58th in the nation in points. 2017-18 was 85th, and last year was 84th. Points. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat and say those are the greatest numbers ever, but they're not as bad. They are not as bad as people portray our offense to be. Most important thing in the game is points. Scoring offense and scoring defense. You can give up all the yards or put all the yards on the board, you can, but if you don't score touchdowns, points at the end of the drive, it doesn't help you win. And our defense has been good at scoring defense, and our defense has been good, and our offense has been good at putting up points when they have to. Now, Would it be great to have I'm trying to think Alabama's all or Oklahoma's offense or um, some of these more high power offenses? Sure, but all I care about is W's. And that what was it, 21-13? Mark with his class, with completely his players, is a pretty damn good record, especially playing the SEC. I'm not going to argue with that at all. That guy has put together, and that's the same thing I dislike with the Willie Taggart comments about his resume. You have to also look at the teams he took over, the programs he took over, and where they were before he got there, and how they progressed while he was there. This Florida State job is the first time he took over a program and hasn't gone the opposite way. I know I'm talking about another team, but I'm gonna say this because I like Taggart a lot. I'm gonna tell you, Jimbo Fisher's been trying to get out of there, been trying to get out of Florida State for a long time. When that LSU job opened up, when they got rid of Les Miles, who was the first guy? It was Jimbo. He was trying to get out of there then because he knew he was losing the facilities arms battle. The offensive line he's had at Florida State for a long time has been poor. Look at Jameis last year at Florida State. That old line was horrible, and it's only gotten worse. And he still hasn't been able to secure a top-notch quarterback since Jameis, and that's huge. So he left that cupboard kind of bare, and it's sad for me to see Taggart leave because this recruiting class was going to probably be, no probably, was a very good recruiting class. This was going to be his chance to get his guys to run his system in the program because he runs a totally different system than Jimbo runs offensively. Jimbo runs more of a pro style offense. Taggart is more of a modern spread concept, and he didn't have a quarterback to run his system. When Willie went to Oregon, yeah, he won 7 games, but the year before they won 4. In one season, he improved that team because they ran a system, a similar system to what he ran offensively already. And plus, he wasn't able to hire the defensive coordinator that he wanted at Florida State. But I digress. I'm glad he's getting his money. I just wish they would have gave him another couple of years because I think things would turn around for that program because it's going to be very interesting when whoever they hire next, how much success they can have right away because this recruiting class, if they keep them, has a chance to make a difference for that program. But going back to Stoops and his offense, anybody can ask for from their program is an identity. You can like it or not. You can hem and haw. You can question it. But our identity, once Coach Stoops got Grant in, because he tried the old spread offensive concept, although we didn't run it, probably to what Shannon and Neil wanted to run, but Coach Stoops tried, and he realized that doesn't mesh well with his philosophy, and he learned that quickly, as a smart man would do. Okay, I tried it. I thought that would work. Let me get a guy who's more who sees the vision I see, right or wrong, but we are consistent with our vision, and that vision has led us to, like I said, 21 and 13. And the years that he's had his guys solely at Kentucky, and that's huge. And our identity is run the ball, pound it down your throat, play the field position battle, play the turnover battle. It's not the prettiest game, but it gets us W's. And it's getting us W's with a wide receiver at quarterback. What he's done in his, what is it, 13 to 19, 7 years. And soon we're going to be more explosive on offense. It would have been this year. I would have bet the form that this year would have been a more explosive offensive season. I can see it, even if it goes NFL. I hope that injury can prove me right. We have to look at the game more than just from pure numbers. Every game, it's not as bad. We only harp on, but even on the third shorts, the Wildcats have been more successful than people imagine on crucial parts of the game that people only remember. It's pretty damn good with Boom, uh, JoJo, and any